Hello and happy Tuesday. And as you know, Tuesday is my reviews day, and today I'm here to review The Blackheart Boys Choir by Curtis M Lawson, forward by St. Joshi. So this is available in paperback. You can buy it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever books are sold. The version I read, though, is the signed limited edition from Weird House Press. Weird House Press is actually where I was introduced to Curtis M. Lawson through his Devil's Night anthology, and that was one of the best short story collections I've read in recent years. It was superb. It was so superb that I immediately went out and had to buy Blackheart Boys Choir, which is his novel. So the signed limited edition has a nice little dust jacket here with beautiful artwork from Luke Spooner, who is a regular over at Weird House Press. But he's also done artwork for some other works, including some Philip Fracassi. Great art demands sacrifice, and that is the core message at the heart of this novel. So the limited edition also comes and has this bonded leather, black leather cover with illustrated end papers. Look at those, more Luke Spooner art, and it's signed by Curtis M. Lawson. Mine is number 23. It's out of 100 copies. Copies are still available, this signed limited edition. It says it retails for $45, but it's been on sale for $40 ever since the novel came out, so you could save $5 right there. Anyways, Blackheart Boys Choir is the story of Lucien Beaumont. Lucien Beaumont comes from a family of LBs. His mother's like Linda Beaumont, and his father, whose name escapes me, also begins with an L. Anyways, he is a man of means. He's a teenager. A teenager of means. His father was a very up-on-his-luck composer, and prior to the novel beginning, the family is struck by tragedy. The father has committed suicide. The funds are starting to dry up. Lucien has gone from his private school. He's very much wearing the suit and tie to work. He's looking his best, presenting his best. For lack of a better way of describing it, he kind of comes off as pretentious, but I think he's supposed to. He's gone from private school to public school. His mom has kind of secluded herself away, cut herself off in the world, and gone in further into addiction with just a revolving door of strange men coming in and out of the house. And Lucien hates every single minute of it. When he discovers in unfinished work the madrigal of the world's end that his father was working on. And it's unlike anything he's ever heard before. So much that he is compelled for both to finish it and to kind of maintain his father's legacy, to finish the madrigal. And to help him finish the madrigal is Maxwell, who's kind of an overweight, bullied kid at school who shares interests with Lucien in terms of the classical music that Lucien loves to listen to. He despises the pop music. Like I said, if he sounds kind of pretentious, he is pretentious. That's kind of the idea, as well as two very troubled kids who are, let's say, there's some red flags in those other kids who join his Blackheart Boys Choir. The writing is very good. It's very well done. I'm always the type to point out spelling mistakes. There was a spelling mistake in terms of one of Philip Gravetree's name. At one point, his name is spelled with two L's, one point it's one L, but that's just neither here nor there. It's going to happen. Anyways, it was very, very well written, and it is a very dark tale. I mean, his stories in Devil's Night certainly had their darkness, but nothing to the extremes of how dark this story gets. He is greeted with visions of Amdusias, a demonic unicorn, who is actually, if you looked it up, there is actually Amdusias, who's, it's an existing demon. It's not one that Curtis M. Lawson created, who is kind of responsible for the cacophony of music that one would hear in hell. And he is the one that is kind of the muse behind the madrigal. And in order to inspire Lucien to... I call him Lucius earlier. Lucien Beaumont. So, oops, if I called him Lucius earlier. Lucien Beaumont is compelled to commit atrocious acts in order to feed his muse, to feed Amdusias. and to provide him with more of the magical. And these are some dark and twisted acts. Throughout the entirety of it, he keeps having almost kind of like visions. So like you see on the page here, you get your regular text and you see little bits that are italicized. Those are almost kind of like daydreams in a way. Those are the more mystical elements. Like in the very first chapters, he's sitting around, he's talking to his therapist, and then in the italicized ones, he's having his dark thoughts of attacking his therapist. He is a dark and troubled kid, and you can't help but feel bad for him. I mean, given his situation, it's a dark and troubling situation. But it's one of the things that's not a complaint, because this happens with a lot of books. When you've read a lot of books, you're going to know how a lot of books end. And I will say that this one, the main event of the ending was not so much a surprise to me. The elements of how it got there there were some surprising moments in there. But I would say the ending itself is kind of where you think the story might go. I am not a classical music scholar by any means, so I can't say that I can speak to the classical musical knowledge that Curtis M Lawson may have put in this novel. But you don't really need to understand classical music as much. It is very much a troubled tale of a troubled teenager, and his very troubled friends as they go to try and complete this demonic musical piece. And I gotta say, it was a good read. It was definitely a good read. A bit on the shorter side. I think this is only just over 200 pages. Yeah, just over 200. So, it's not quite like a huge novel, but it's longer than novella. It's novel length. You could read this in one sitting. It definitely is a page turner, and you want to see what's going to happen next, even though you know that whatever tragedy might befell them at the end of this road, you need to continue down that road. It definitely has me interested in reading more Curtis M. Lawson. Like I said, his short story collection, Devil's Night, which also had Luke Spoon artwork, was one of the best short story collections I've read in recent memory. Blackheart Boys Choir is an excellent novel-length follow-up. Like I say, it's completely separate from Devil's Night. Devil's Night takes place in Detroit, and it deals with October 30th, Devil's Night, and all these interconnected tales on that night. Blackheart Boys Choir, completely separate, but an excellent novel-length read for an author that I've absolutely loved everything I've read by him. Like I said, copies of the signed edition are still available over on Weird House Press. It is very well written. Like I said, I mean, I hate to say that it's believable. Obviously, having demonic influences and demonic choirs and such might not necessarily be believable, although some of you out there might believe in that stuff, and all the power to you. I'm not one of those, but I would say the actions or the torment behind troubled teenagers and the actions that they do is darkly believable, it's sad to say, but it's well done. It's very well done. So copies of the signed edition are still available over at Weird House Press. I had just last week reviewed a copy of 13 Haunted Houses, which was edited by Curtis M. Lawson. So feel free to check that out. Please check out all of Weird House Press's works. But even if you can't afford the signed edition, like I said, it's about $40. Also, it's ribbon marker, which I didn't point out. You can get paperback for like $18.99, probably a little bit cheaper on Amazon if you want to keep supporting Amazon. By all means, you do you. But copies of this book are available wherever books are sold. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'll do another book review next week. Try to keep it in the horror genre to go with spooky season here in October. And we'll see you around next time.